Macaroons, macarons, macaron. Today I'm going to be showing you how to style the trendy yet challenging French pastry. I know that macaroons can seem really intimidating, but I promise you, if you bake these with confidence, you are gonna make a beautiful French pastry. So in macaroons, we're gonna use almond flour, and this is a blanched, finely milled almond flour, and I'm gonna use about 3/4 of a cup, and then we're just gonna shake it through to the bottom. And a good way to do this, like a quicker way, is you can just use your spatula and just push it through, just like that. So our next ingredient is powdered sugar. This is a cup of powdered sugar that we're also gonna sift, and we're gonna keep on working this through. This will be done eventually. All right, we've got all of this sifted and ready to go. And now we're gonna get to the fun part, which is making the base of our batter, which is egg whites. So I'm gonna start off with 2 room temperature egg whites. These have to be room temperature, my friends. If they're not room temperature, they will not work. So make sure that you leave your eggs out for at least a couple hours to come to room temperature. If not, it's probably even better to leave them out overnight. While I'm mixing this, I wanna add in 1/4 a cup of granulated sugar. The trick with this is you wanna add in the sugar as you're beating the egg whites, and we're gonna add it in slowly, like a slow stream of glorious sugar into our egg whites. And we're gonna beat this until we have soft peaks. We're gonna get this going on high. 3, 2, 1. Perfect, we're getting some soft peakage, going over like an ocean wave. Okay, this is actually icing color and it's gel based. You don't wanna really add liquid food coloring to this batter if you can help it, because the liquid affects the water ratio in the batter and you wanna keep it as close to the original recipe as you can. So I'm gonna use a toothpick and get a good swipe, and then I'm gonna run the toothpick through the batter. And we're gonna beat this and see what color we're creating. Looks great. So I still have soft peaks, but I want you to see the color. This shade of pink will probably bake up a really pastel, and I want them to be a little bit brighter pink. So I'm gonna add a little bit more of my gel color. I'm just gonna run it through again. So I've been beating this batter for about 3 minutes. That's probably the ideal total amount of time you wanna have. Perfect, it's holding its shape. Another trick you can do, take the bowl out, hold it over your head. If it doesn't move, you have a winner. So this is perfect. Here's the fun, yet challenging, but you can do this part of making macaroons. We're gonna add about half of our dry mixture into our bowl, and we're just gonna gently mix this until it's combined. And when you add the dry ingredients, you'll see that the egg white mixture is starting to become a little more liquidy, which is what you want. So now we have no lumps of dry ingredients remaining. So we're gonna add the rest to the bowl. Here's where I want you to stir with confidence. You're gonna lift from the bottom of the bowl to the top, and you're gonna make a little bit of a wave motion. And our goal is that we wanna stir these dry ingredients in until we have a thick batter that flows a bit like lava. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. Go from the bottom to the top, and then wave it down. So we're lifting and we're waving. It's almost like a beauty pageant queen. Lift, wave. And what we wanna do is keep on working it, so don't give up. You don't wanna overmix it to where it's really thin and liquidy, because then your macaron will split on the top. And I don't want that for you. I want you to have a perfect, flawless macaron. You're almost there. See how it's looking glossy? That's what you want. Okay, so now it's flowing a bit more. See how it's just coming off the spatula, but it's still thick, like that? That's what we want. So I'm gonna take my spatula, now that it's flowing, and drizzle that in there. This is looking great. The color looks awesome. The flavor is gonna be delicious. The batter itself is pretty sweet and just tastes like fluffy almond, but we're gonna make a really yummy strawberry cream cheese filling that are gonna make them all the more amazing. So I've got this guy all ready to go. Underneath it, I have a macaroon piping guide, which you can just download on the internet, print off. A silk pad on top so they won't stick. I have my piping tip at the bottom of my bag, but I haven't cut it open yet because I don't want the batter to leak through the bag. So what I'm gonna do is take some scissors and get about the middle of the tip and cut around it. And then we're gonna take the bottom off. All right, the thing you wanna do is you wanna pipe at a 90-degree angle, so hold your piping bag straight up and down, and then you're gonna release it onto your outlines here, and then right when the batter gets about to the edges, you're gonna pull up. You just keep on going. Good. Up Perfect, beautiful. Okay, so we have our piped macarons. Now I'm gonna show you a really special move called the drop and shake. And you're gonna drop your pan like this, shake it out, spin it, shake it. You're gonna get some good exercise today. One more. So the final step before we let these set is I'm gonna look at the tops and see if I see any little air bubbles. And I'm gonna take a toothpick, and if I see air bubbles, I'm just gonna pop them. Just if you see any forming, just pop them. Okay, they look great, so I'm gonna let these set at room temperature for about 40 minutes to an hour. We're gonna bake these in a 300-degree oven for 18 minutes, and in about 9 minutes, I'm gonna turn them in the oven, bake them for 9 more minutes, and they should be good to go. All right, so it's time to make the filling for our macaroons. We have about 4 ounces of cream cheese here, and then I'm gonna add enough powdered sugar to taste. I don't want the filling to be too sweet because our macaroons have a natural sweetness to them. So I'll probably add like a tablespoon or 2 of powdered sugar. And then we're gonna add a strawberry bakery emulsion. I'm gonna add probably about a teaspoonful here. And I'm just gonna stir this all together and make sure that your cream cheese is softened here, because if it was cold, this would be a heck of a lot harder to stir together. Softened cream cheese will give you a much better texture. Just wanna make sure you have all of your strawberry extract blended in. Okay, we have this all mixed together and it smells so good. The strawberry is gonna taste so good. So I'm gonna put this in here. I'm gonna zip this like so. And I'm gonna push it all down to the edge. I'm gonna cut a little bit off the tip of the plastic bag, and then we'll be able to pipe it from there. So we have our cooled macaroon shells. These are ready to be piped, but I wanna take a quick second and show you some macaroon party fouls. So this first batch right here kind of exploded around the sides. That's what happens if you don't mix your batter enough and you put it in and you pipe it too thick. This is what happens when your batter is actually too thin. So when I was showing y'all beating it and lifting from the top and waving it out, if you do that for too long, your batter actually gets really thin, almost kind of syrupy, and that's not what you want. Same thing happened here, and you can see that all of these macaroons have different colors. You kind of have to practice with the color and with the food coloring paste to get the tone that you want, because the batter bakes up lighter than it actually looks to your eye when you're making it. And then this final version, they're a little too thin. So these have feet, but they're a little bit too thin. They're kind of almost like a cracker. And this can actually also happen when you overbeat your batter and when your oven is a little bit too hot. You really want to test your oven temperature and try and get it right at 300 to 315 degrees. Even if you have at home like a thermometer you can put in your oven, just to test the temperature is super helpful to make sure that that is right. And then also on our cream cheese filling, you can play with the color here too, because depending on, my macaroons came out a little bit lighter than I thought they would be. So I lightened up our cream cheese filling a little bit. You can play around with how much strawberry you add to it to see how pink you want the tone to be. But now that we have these ready to go, I'm gonna show you how to pipe them. So I have these in our plastic bag. We've cut the tip off the plastic bag. And what you wanna do is look at your macaroon shells and kind of look at them by size. So I wanna pipe the shells that are even in size so they make a better little macaroon sandwich. And I'm gonna take my bottom piece and I'm gonna put my cream cheese filling right here in the center. And then we're gonna make a kind of like a giant dot, just like that, a little twirl. And then I'm gonna take our other piece, put it on top. Now, instead of smushing it down from the top, I'm actually just gonna wiggle, wiggle, wiggle till it's coming out the side. So I'm just gonna do that with all of my macaroons. You're just gonna put this filling in the center, wiggle them together, and you'll be good to go. All right, these are all filled up. They look so pretty, and I'm gonna bring them over to set to show you how to style these guys. All right, so we have our macaroons all filled. They look beautiful. They're gonna taste so delicious. And honestly, you put all the hard work in the beginning. So all you have to do now is plate them. I chose a blue color palette. I love this pastel blue, the robin's egg blue, with the blue tissue paper in these beautiful white boxes. Because if you make macaroons, you make them to share. So I wanna have some ready to display, ready for my friends to eat, but also ready to send some home as party favors. So when you go to style these, I would just make sure you pick your prettiest ones for the photo, and make sure that you're picking ones that have really pretty even filling. You can put those guys in here facing up, the pretty filling towards the camera, and then also maybe your less perfect ones, maybe putting them back here. So I'm gonna check for these guys, ones with the really pretty filling. I'm gonna face up, and I like kind of seeing different sizes here too, like maybe having your bigger macaroons and some smaller guys as well, like that one. You put one more in there, save these ones for the background. These look so cute, so delicate. And then maybe having one right here on the side, propped up to maybe show off the filling, show off the shape of these beautiful macaroons. Okay, so I love this setup. It looks so sweet and dainty with the white of the surface, the light blue, everything just says light and bright. And I can't wait to share these with my friends and eat one myself. Bon appetit. So good. All right, so I wanna see how you played it perfect. I wanna see a picture of your beautiful macarons. Just tag @PopKitchen on Instagram and comment below. Let us know what you wanna see me style next.